Day. And look, I'm talking with my friend David, who's sitting in Montreal, Quebec. I'm sitting in South Florida. I'm wearing a beaver.
I'm
He's
not.
wearing a headphone. It looks like a beaver because he's up north. But you know what? We're not talking about beavers. We're not talking about the wildlife, but we're talking about wild things having to do with traveling between Canada and the United States. And let me tell
Wow.
you something.
Hmm.
This whole travel thing. I mean, you know what, David? I sort of ranted about this a couple months ago, traveling
Hmm.
internationally, but you traveled internationally just this weekend, and I think I feel the
Well,
energy, the energy.
well. Let me. I got to tell you something. It's really it's more, and I'm going to sound. I might just come across sounding like a spoiled brat, but
Well,
I
you
want to
said
tell
I
you.
did.
Well, I know that, and I am a brat, but I want to tell you what aggravated me, Stuart, over the past weekend, and it's just this word inconsistency. Inconsistency on how things are handled. And I have to tell you, I had numerous conversations, numerous experiences with people, and it was a pain in the ass. So let me first start by showing, does this look familiar to you? This is a typical scene now in airports because whether you're flying in Canada or the United States, you must wear a mask. It's a federal mandate and everybody wear a mask. But number one, do you think anybody's really paying attention? Do you think anybody's socially distancing? All this, there's stickers, there are signs, there are Purell. Please, Stuart, if you saw it, people are just not paying attention. It's just almost like lip service. And then you get on a plane and you sit next to a stranger in a sardine can. And I know that you and your wife did that also, and it looked terrible. And then they say to you, "Oh, if you want to eat and drink, take off your mask. Or if you want to take medication, take off." And again, inconsistent.
Yep.
And then we land, and we went to Indiana over the weekend, and I have to tell you, half the population there is vaccinated. And the frustration was as if I just gotten off a plane to a different world. Because again, inconsistent.
Where did you clear customs in Canada or the
We
U.S.?
cleared customs in Canada, so there's no customs in the United States flying from Canada, which is cool. But we got off the plane. It's cool. Everybody's wearing masks. Okay, again, take it or whatever. But as soon as we got out of the airport, it's as if there was no COVID existing. Fine, so be it. But there is COVID, and then the regulations there are just loosey goosey. We got into the hotel, we wore our masks, and they were looking at us like we had four horns. Like, what the heck are you wearing a mask for? There's no COVID. But then again, they tell you, but we're not going to do any room service for you over the couple of days because there's COVID.
Yep.
So which is it? We go to a coffee shop to grab a coffee, and and it's like there's COVID, but you see everybody literally. I was like this, not far away from somebody ordering coffee, tables full of people, and I'm like, I got to get out of here. The stores, maybe 1 in 20 was wearing a mask, and it's like it's an option. I'm saying, and then we had to talk. And this I'm very quickly. My wife and I had to talk with a Canadian United agent in Indianapolis, and she said she had customers. She says the customers who are coming from all over the United States are confused. What works there? What are the regulation? So we have 50 states, 10 provinces, and 3 territories in between our two countries. That there is not one single consistency on how COVID is going to be managed, and frankly, I don't see how this shit show is going to get any better. And I don't think it's vaccinations, folks. I don't know, Stuart. I don't know about
Okay.
you, but like I had a frustrating time.
Okay. So, first of all, David, I'm going to revamp a picture. This
Yep.
is clearing
Yep.
customs
Yep.
in
Hmm.
in Toronto.
Yep.
I'd like you to see the density, the lack of space, the nose covering, or
Yep.
the
Or lack thereof.
nose,
Or lack thereof.
right? We love the nose one. Look at the woman right there, the
Yep.
nose mask. At the end of the day, you got to understand COVID is not going to go away. It is in the world forever. And if you think that we're going to beat it like the war on drugs, well, you're correct. It's like the war on drugs, the war that will never end, and the battle that'll never go away. And the immunization isn't going to be permanent, it's all temporary. And to get vaccinated for the rest of your life, you know what? Ultimately, I've been vaccinated now 3 times, David.
Hmm.
And, to be honest with you, I don't know if I'm going to go for a fourth because the Merck pill, the Pfizer pill, they're all coming out. So at the end of the day, I'm not an anti-vaxxer. I'm not an anti-masker. But at the end of the day, let's be honest. If you think that the governments aren't enjoying the control, you're wrong. I don't think that there is a difference where wearing a mask that doesn't filter an N90, like an N95, the actual virus, and now they're saying, well, the droplets are larger. I've heard doctors spew all kinds of nonsense. I've heard the CDC spew all kinds of nonsense. But at the end of the day, there is zero consistency global. And if you look at Australia, that's trying to shut down, London with a partial shutdown, and with red zones, yellow zones, green zones, I mean, the world is just tired of all the zones.
Stuart, it's even stupider than that. Here, if I want to go to a
Jupiter,
rest here, if I want to go to a restaurant, I have to show my vaccine passport. Okay, but if I want to go grocery shopping, nobody's going to stop me.
hey,
This guy from Seattle comes in and says that everywhere he goes, he has to show his vaccine passport. When I was in Indiana, they had no idea what the hell is a vaccine passport. Like, it's either we get our shit together, start working together. First of all, start within your own country because you have 50 different set of rules. If you go to Hawaii, by the way, and a buddy of mine is on his way back from Hawaii with his wife, it's a different country.
yep,
It's part of the 50 states, but it works completely differently.
yep,
You're creating such confusion and havoc that it's not even funny, let alone what we do on this side. And by the way, the most recent thing is we had to get a PCR test to come back to Canada. Okay. Now, here's the stupidity. You have to get a test to cross the border to prove that you don't have COVID. But as we both know, it's only good for what it was up to 14 days ago. It doesn't mean that I had COVID today because my symptoms can only come out tomorrow, right?
yep.
But it doesn't. So I have to spend a ton of money on tests to cross the border that no one looked at. Okay,
Hey, what a money making great idea.
okay.
Let's make you do something, give you a false sense of whatever security you think there is, make you feel nervous in environments that you shouldn't feel nervous in, yet you do. Be anxious. Let's do an experiment, right?
Hmm.
Let's see how many people I can have now on
But
antidepressants,
but no, no, but so
anti-anxiety
just I mean,
medicine.
let's not go down that road just yet. But like when I'm talking about these tests, right? So Saturday morning, 8 o'clock in the morning, we go for a PCR test, which
Yep.
is the most expensive test to confirm that we don't
What do
have.
they
Okay,
charge you?
165 per person.
$165.
Yes.
Oh
Now
my
now
God.
now this was it.
How much do you think that test costs?
Whoa, wait, it gets better. My buddy who came from Texas to Montreal last week paid zero. He went to somewhere. He goes, I got it for free. It was part of some plan. Now I'm thinking, just like it's becoming now all of a sudden this is a profit center. And I'm getting aggravated. And now the Canadian government changed their mind. Okay, for short stays, you don't need a PCR test to come to Canada. Blah blah, all kinds of stupidity. But like it is useless because the moment I'm on the plane or I get off the plane or 24 hours later, my symptoms can only emerge. This is so stupid.
But what if you're asymptomatic?
Oh, what if I'm double vaxxed already?
What
Why am
if
I
you're
going
triple
through
vaxxed?
well, yeah, what if I'm going, why, again, and this is what I don't get. And this is what's
Because a
causing,
vaccination has no impact whether or not you get COVID or not. Well, at least that's the current statement that you get from the
yeah,
CDC.
that's the
And,
but yeah, bullshit. So what was the point of, like, again, the frustration that people are having as we go on today is
and
that they're,
and you know, and you got people who assert that, oh no, you must be an anti-vaxxer because you're discussing things that aren't very, how do I say this,
politically correct.
politically correct. I'm the least politically correct person, but you're the
Yeah,
second, least politically correct
but you know
person.
what what I'm saying is that traveling and the aggravation I have is that you want to encourage interstate travel. You want to encourage tourists to come from overseas. You don't make it easy to travel. No
Nope.
government makes it easy to travel. And I understand you want to protect. I understand you want to get, but
Hey, I got a better one. I got a better one. I have my friend Jason. Remember Jason Chi, my redhead
sure,
friend?
sure,
Yeah,
sure, sure.
yeah. So Jason went out and had to go and pick up his ski passes. He skis somewhere in Montreal,
Yeah.
and so you couldn't pick him up. You can't do it online because you have to go in person to show your
That you're
documentation.
right.
Okay,
Right.
so I would like to understand if you're skiing outdoors, right?
What
What
does it
does
have
the
to do?
proof of vaccination have to
Because
do with?
because when you come indoors into the into the
No, no, no,
restaurant or
no,
the
no, no.
chalet,
The
I
chalets, no, you can't go in the
I
chalets.
know,
Chalets are closed.
Stuart. It's because if you're going to sit next to a person on the T bar or on a
Wearing
chairlift
a mask and
wearing
you're
a yeah,
outdoors. I mean, like
I'm telling you, it's listen, it's
the
comical.
boogeyman's going to get
It's a
you. The
it's
boogeyman's going to
comic
get you.
it's comical, and this is where, but here's the thing. So we in each province right now, I have to each of us have to have our own separate documentation. Not God forbid, the 13 governments here would get together and say, let's make one application that's consistent for everybody. No. So if I go to Ontario or if I go to New Brunswick or if I go somewhere else, my app doesn't work. I okay now
I got
when
one
I
better for you. What if she went on eBay, which is a great topic, which we're going to hopefully talk about later this week? Let's say you go on eBay and you bought the CDC card that they're selling for $10
Well, they
online.
listen, Stuart. It's just
Crazy.
it's
So how
crazy.
do you distinguish fact from fiction?
You
Have
don't,
the honor system. I mean, it doesn't
Stuart.
make any sense.
So they created with it. Here's another gimmick. So they created an app, right, to scan your QR code to see if your QR code is legit. But there's a scam of people photographing these QR codes to sell it to other people. Like the thing is that we haven't done anything. Nothing we've put out here has been consistent,
Yeah,
understood. It's not easy. God help us. God help us. We're trying to build back economies. We're trying to help people get back to some sort of normalcy. And as you guys are going into the American Thanksgiving long holiday weekend.
yep.
I can't imagine what travel is going to be like. Is this now and
I got a very big travel schedule for Thanksgiving, Dave. I didn't tell you. I'm going from the bedroom to the kitchen to the dining room table, back to the kitchen, back to the bedroom. And
well,
that's how far I'm traveling this
I got to
Thanksgiving.
tell you, you're smart because right now what I'm hearing is like the airports are going to be packed, stuff, this and that, hotels, vacations, cars. But I'm saying here's the thing about the hotel. When they said we're not going to do service because of COVID. So I'm like
So ridiculous.
I'm like
So
so
ridiculous.
what? So where is someone to clean up or to wipe down elevators or
Mhm.
banisters or and no, there's nothing. There's zero.
Did you get a deal on that hotel?
Irrelevant. The
What
thing is,
hotel flag was it? What hotel flag
it
was
was
it?
it was a Marriott. But the
A
thing is,
Marriott.
Stuart,
Yeah.
Stuart. But I'm saying is that the thing is that it just shows the inconsistency across the board of
Now, do me a
anything.
favor. I'm very curious. If you can look at your bill, did they charge you a COVID cleaning bill?
You know what? That's a
Right.
really good question. I should check that bill. But
I
the the,
mean,
th-
the
the thing is,
dentist offices were charging $10 per patient. I mean, I'm really curious. Are you looking it
listen,
up now?
Stuart, I'm going to tell you something. It wouldn't surprise me because you know what? This. There's a certain craziness behind it. Look, people are. I think there's a legitimacy in the nerves.
There
Honestly.
is. My wife, who's a Miami-Dade County teacher, she was wearing a mask, a mask, a mask, a mask. Now she's wearing a paper mask. It's like I'm just done with it. Every day I get a call from the school automatic. Oh, there's some kid who's got COVID. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
did I get a call when kids had the flu? Did I get a call when kids had measles,
Mm-hmm.
mumps? No.
Yep. Yeah.
I had a call when kids had lice.
By the way, my bill does not have a COVID cleaning fee. But
Oh, good.
what I'm just saying is, look, guys. To me, the aggravation is if you want us back to travel, and if you want us back to start being mobile, and if you want us to stop the spread of COVID, attention governments. Would you stop fucking around and get on the goddamn program and start working in cohesion to start getting this more consistent? Because God knows we're never
You know,
getting out of this.
I'm going to get off the topic and throw a zinger at you. Rittinghouse.
Forget it. Not even going there. Have a good one. Hey, everybody. Listen, we're up at the fifth quarter hour, and Stuart likes to change the topics, of course, as usual. But we're not going to go there. We'll catch you again on Wednesday, everyone. Have yourself a wonderful week. We look forward